Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kate Mbota and I'm your favorite young life coach. And guys, today I want us to talk about the psychology of rape. So if you have had to go through sexual assault, you probably may not be in a position to watch this, maybe triggering for you. uh, People have put society in the stigmatization of rape, whereby people cannot come out after being sexually abused. For example, there's a likelihood that people do not believe you, people are scared of coming out, people do not have the courage to come out. In most cases, victims of sexual assault or sexual abuse always blame themselves, always think that they were in that position, they had something to do with it. No, the society should know that, and every individual should know that, and a victim of rape should know that there is nothing you did in the world to deserve being sexually abused, and it's not you, it's the person who is doing it to you. And most of the time, you find that people who sexually abuse us are people around us. It's not strangers, either acquaintances or family members. Um, and there is the stigmatization of you being scared that you might not, if you come out, you might not be believed. And it's very there, like it's there, it's really there. For example, let's say your dad or your aunt sexually abused you. It's in both genders, like either a male or female are prone to be sexually abused. Let's say a family member abused you, so you find it hard to talk about it to your parents. Let's say your dad did it to you, you think that you are scared to talk about it to your mom or to someone or your family member because you think you might not be believed. In most cases, that when rape victims talk about it to a family member after it happens, by a close relative, they are not believed. So there's that fear of judgment, there's that fear that you may not be believed, there's that trauma that comes with it, that you are carrying trauma with you, and then the people are not believing you. So there's that, and then there is that stages whereby the kind of reactions that comes after that is that there are people who go through denial. They push it into their subconsciousness. They do not want to think about it, they do not want to even, there's an incident whereby people even think that it did not happen. The doctors do know that it actually happened, but the victim has pushed it away from their mind, that they think that that incident did not happen. And then there are people who keep being triggered by anything small that comes with it. Is it smell? Is it taste? Is it every little thing that comes in the way? Then they are triggered by it. And then there are people who keep replaying the incident. All these are post-traumatic like event that happens. How are you reacting to a traumatic event? So everyone has their way of processing a trauma, and so you find that there are people who keep repeating it in their head. They keep, replaying it in their head again and again and again, and they keep thinking that it will happen. The fear that rape victims walk with, fearing that it might happen again. They might think they are paranoid, but at some point they are not, because it has happened to them. That is them reacting to that incident. And then there are these cases of when it is happening, what goes through the mind of the victim. There is those people who just accept it to happen. There are people who give in into it because they think that the more they refuse, the more it's going to hurt. And so what do? They react by allowing it to happen to them. And then there are people who fight and fight and fight until the end. There are people who will fight until they will fight when the action is happening until they can't fight it anymore. And so there are people who will give into their perpetrators because they think that it's not going to hurt and I just want this to be done with immediately. And so everyone has their way of reacting to these incidences. And one thing victim of sexual abuse should know that it wasn't their fault that it happened to them, and there's nothing that you can do in the world for you to prevent somebody from viewing it in such a way. But you can actually protect yourself by looking at where you're walking or how you're dressing, or areas. Do not put yourself in a position whereby it could happen to you. You can actually maybe avoid it, but you cannot prevent it from happening, because uh, what happens is when your perpetrator is doing it, they have the intentions of doing it. You might be anywhere and they could do it, because if it is happening in families, it is happening everywhere, it is happening in the streets. So what people do not know is that maybe you can avoid it in the streets, but it is not you cannot prevent it from happening. It is the mind of those who are doing it to you. Because if it is happening with family members, home is the environment whereby we should be able to trust people, and we should believe that we are safe there. If it is happening in those families, then it is going to happen everywhere. The thing we have to talk about sexual assault is that it is in the mind of those who are doing it, and not to the victim. We do not need to blame the victim. Then victims should not be blamed, and the society should put us in a position whereby we are able to come out and talk about sexual abuse. People should sit and be able to talk about it. This person assaulted me, without being stigmatized, and let people talk about it. Let there be safe space for people to talk about it, because people fear of being judged. And what I can say is that if you're suffering from sexual assault and you have that trauma, you can actually talk to a therapist. You can find someone who you believe that they will believe in you, and you can actually talk to them. And it is okay for you to come out and say it was done to you, because the more we talk about it, the more people will have the courage of coming out to talk about it. And so, guys, do not forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you on my next video. Thank you for watching.